Hey everybody, Scott Spreitzer here from DocSports.com. It is Wednesday, May 16th, our overnight look into Wednesday's card, including early movers. Overnight movers coming up on this report, also a free pick. We'll get to those in a minute. Just a quick note, if you have yet to become a member at DocSports.com, where I've been exclusive now for over a month, all you got to do is click on the link below and sign up for your free $60 account on Wednesday. Again, get signed up, free $60 account if you're not yet a member at DocSports.com. Free pick, fortunate winner here last night with the Chicago Cubs. Unfortunate loss in Major League Baseball with our premium play on the Cleveland Indians, up 8-3. They blow the lead late against the Tigers, loaded the bases twice. 7th and 8th inning, 1 out in the 7th, no outs in the 8th, got no more runs. One of those bad luck losers, and we fell in the NBA, so 1 and 2 with all plays given out. Again, cash to the Cubs here last night. We'll look to have another free pick winner at the end of this report. Wanted to mention real quickly about last night's game between the Cavs and the Celtics. Boy, we saw Cleveland get off to that great start as we thought they would, and LeBron was just on full mode attack, that is, and then had that collision with Jason Tatum's shoulder in the paint with about 3 minutes to go in the first half. Got to tell you, he was never the same as far as his tenacity when it came to attacking on the offensive end. It really dropped off after getting hit in the chops with the shoulder. And, you know, a lot of folks were talking about, at least on the radio broadcast, I was listening to the radio broadcast, watching it on TV with the sound down, and they were basically talking about the fact that it might have been a concussion situation for LeBron. But we certainly saw the first 25 points for LeBron matter a lot more than the final 17. Again, just didn't go into full attack mode in the second half of that game. And his role players, they didn't pick up for the missing slack, so to speak. And Boston, the well-coached Boston Celtics, Brad Stevens working the magic again. Great players, just doing a good job of buying into everything Brad Stevens preaches. They get the win, and now we move to Game 3 back in Cleveland. I'll tell you what, if Cleveland can't cover the spread for at least the first quarter and first half, back home down 2-0 in Game 3, they ought to be absolutely ashamed of themselves. We'll talk a little bit more about that game as we get closer to tip-off, which of course is again on Saturday. Right now, the full game line, as I'm checking it out, they're laying about 6.5, totals 205. Cleveland, of course, the home court favorite for Game 3. Also on Wednesday, we've got Game 2 out west. We've got the Houston Rockets laying about 1.5 in that game, a 224.5 total. There's a lot the Rockets are going to have to do to adjust from what they did in Game 1. We backed Golden State in Game 1 at DocSports.com, and here's what we saw. You saw a Houston team that is going to have to quit running all these ISOs, these isolation plays when they've got the basketball. They averaged about 22 ISOs per game during the course of the season, the most in the NBA. They had 45, according to ESPN, in Game 1. They doubled their ISO plays. You can't beat the Golden State Warriors when you're running ISOs 40, 45 times a game. You might not be able to do it running 20 to 25 times per game. And all the dribbling, that dribbling exhibition by James Harden just didn't look good. And of course, he was not able to hold up his end of the bargain on the defensive end either. So just a tough outing for Houston. We had Golden State there. We thought they would come through. I do have a play on Game 2 on Wednesday, available right now at DocSports.com. That'll be up and at it on Wednesday morning. You'll be able to grab that play. And by the way, these executive plays, which this one is, are premium plays, now on a 60% run going all the way back to December 16th in the NBA. Again, your next one will be Wednesday's Game 2 clash in the Western Conference Finals. Early movers that we talked about last night for Tuesday. The Padres got the daytime win. What a great game. I watched most of the game from Lyles, their young pitcher, who had a no-hitter into the 7th inning. Perfect game for that matter into the 7th inning. Boy, he looks tremendous right now, really hitting his spots, and he can mix things up enough to keep teams off balance. Great game for him. That was an early move win. We had the Indians, as did the other early movers last night. We told you about that one already. They lost. So now we go into our early movers for Wednesday's Major League Baseball. Now, there's 4 games without lines already as we speak because of a couple of pitching undecideds for a couple of teams, things of that nature. But as far as the early movers of the games that remain, about 10 games with lines on them right now, looking at the lines, we see that the Dodgers are dropping like a rock. They've gone from a $1.70 favorite all the way down to as low as $1.51. They are on the road in Miami. Walker Buehler will take the mound for the LA Dodgers. not bad so far. I'm looking at his numbers right now, 27 punch-outs, only 7 walks in 4 starts. He's going to go for the Dodgers, still laying about $1.50 to $1.55, but that early money is definitely on the Miami Marlins, dropping that down 15 to 20 cents depending on the book. The Marlins are going to send a lefty by the name of Caleb Smith to the hill on Wednesday's card. Caleb Smith also pitching well thus far. Not much unlike what we're seeing out of Buehler for the Dodgers. Here's the problem with backing the Dodgers, and here's why a lot of people think that they were laying too big of a price when it opened around $1.70. This team has no offense right now. They're just dreadful at the plate. Puig is having a rough time. You look at what they're doing with runners in scoring position. How about 21 for their last 129 when they have runners in scoring position? That's not going to get it done, and that's why you see early movement right now with this big price on the underdog Miami Marlins as they look to deal the LA Dodgers yet another loss. That's really the only mover right now as far as early movement is concerned as I'm looking at my lines for Wednesday's card. One game a little bit right now with a little bit of movement. It looks like the Reds are getting played against. They're going to send Matt Harvey to the hill on Wednesday, but again, not quite as big of a mover as folks are on the Miami Marlins over the LA Dodgers. Here's the plan before we get to the free pick for Wednesday. Here's the plan for Thursday's report. What we're going to do on Thursday is we're going to have that NFL over-under win total. We've already had one, Bills under 6.5 wins. Second one's going to be on Thursday's report. And then on Friday, we're going to have our Preakness preview. Now for the Kentucky Derby, we cashed 2 out of 3 matchups here. We cashed 3 out of 4 matchups at DocSports.com. We lost our exacta box. In all, our premium derby picks at DocSports.com picked up about just short of 3 units of profit. So we were happy with that result, and we're going to have our Preakness preview right back here with Friday's report. Again, Thursday's report will be our next NFL over-under wins total. Don't forget, you can become a member if you're not yet already. Free $60 account at DocSports.com simply by clicking on that link below this video. Thursday's free pick, we're going to go to the NHL Western Conference Finals game number 3. The Vegas Golden Knights evened up the series 1 game apiece with that win the other night in Winnipeg. Totally different performance from what we saw in Game 1. Well, at least for the first period. Vegas was flat. They did not look like their normal selves. They were skating quickly. The whole shebang in Game 1. They're down 3-0, 7 or 8 minutes into the first period, and then played okay the final 2 periods. You could see if they played like that and didn't have one of those rough 10-minute stretches like they did in Game 1, they could win Game 2. We even said on a report the other day that we liked Vegas to even up this series. Well, we like them in Game 3 back home at T-Mobile until Winnipeg can make the adjustments for the Vegas Golden Knights quickness advantage. I think there's going to be an issue here for Winnipeg going on the road in this game. So Vegas coming home, all the confidence in the world. We get it when it comes to adjustments, but Gallant's pulling all the right strings. The other day, Game 2, David Perron couldn't go. What does he do? He brings in Jonathan Tatar. Jonathan Tatar scores his first playoff goal right out of the blocks, gets them a 1-0 lead. So we just have trust in Gallant, trust in Vegas at home. We think they're going to go up 2-1 with a win on Wednesday night. By the way, they're laying about $1.40-ish. Maybe you have to lay 5 more cents than that, but around $1.40 favorite at home in Game 3. Again, we'll be right back here Thursday morning by 4 a.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. Pacific, certainly before the crack of dawn on the East Coast. If you like what you see, click on that thumbs up button. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks to those who have done so far. Again, back on Thursday morning, 4 a.m. Eastern time. Put Wednesday in the win column. I'm Scott Spreitzer of DocSports.com.